Owning a home makes some people feel more confident about their prospects in retirement, but that may be misguided. That's what some experts are saying. About 37% of polled workers, including those with part or full-time jobs or who are self-employed or business owners, say that they are ahead of schedule, said 7%, or on schedule 30% in their retirement savings. That according to Your Money Retirement Survey, which was conducted by SurveyMonkey and CNBC.com. Of those who said that they were on schedule, 42% said that an early start in their retirement savings helped them to get ahead. Other factors that contributed to their readiness included having little or no debt for 38% and home equity or home ownership for 37%, according to the report. The survey polled over 6,600 adults, including over 2,600 retired adults and over 4,000 adult workers in August. But homeowners' confidence about their wealth in their home may actually be misplaced, according to Angie Chen, a senior research economist and the assistant director of savings research at the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College. Homeowners are actually more likely to be overconfident in their retirement readiness. There's a lot of misconception in the terms of how people assess whether they are ahead or not in their retirement savings. Yet, owning a home can bring tangible benefits in one's retirement years, said Winnie Sun, co-founder and managing director of Sun Group Wealth Partners in Irvine, California. The Center for Retirement Research's National Retirement Risk Index measures the share or percentage of working-age households who are at risk of being unprepared financially for their retirement years. And when comparing individual household assessments under that index in 2023, the center found that 28% are not worried enough, meaning that they think they are not at risk, while indeed they are. People who own houses but still owe a lot on their home are much more likely to be overconfident or not worried enough, said Chen. In order to better assess retirement readiness, it's important not just to consider the value of your home, but also how much you borrow and still how much you owe. Housing is not really liquid, said Chen. You might feel good about having this large asset, but you can't consume that in retirement. You can't spend it in a way that you can spend and consume other types of savings. While a house is not liquid, one may be able to tap into the home equity if they need to, say experts. In most cases, they kind of see that equity, though, as an emergency fund, said Sun. MoneyWise notes that one 73-year-old with $27,000 in annual health care costs is looking to tap into their home equity. Many older Americans do enjoy an actual decline in spending once the sun sets on their careers. However, there is one expense they wish to retire completely, and that is health care costs. Fidelity reports that the average 65-year-old today will spend $165,000 on health care expenses, but that estimate does not take into consideration the cost of long-term care. Genworth puts the average annual cost of a full-time health aide at $75,000 in 2023, while the average cost of assisted living was $64,000. Nursing homes were even more expensive, with an average price tag of $104,000 annually for a shared room and $116,000 for a private one. Now, if you're a retiree with limited funds and your health is eating up an uncomfortably large portion of your savings, you may have feelings of despair, says MoneyWise, and you may be considering tapping into your home equity to help tap into a little bit more cash. However, before you do that, you should know the pros and cons of that approach. They note that the National Council of Aging says that homeowners 65 and older have a median home equity of $250,000. A big part of that stems from the recent boost in home values post-pandemic. As of 2022, the median retirement account balance among those 65 to 74 was only $200,000, according to the Federal Reserve. Now, many older Americans might have more home equity than they actually do in savings. The safe way to tap into home equity? Well, since 1990, more than 1.3 million older Americans have taken out a reverse mortgage to tap into a portion of their home's value, that according to the NCOA. However, reverse mortgages, they write, do have their own drawbacks. A home equity loan or HELOC could be a safer option for some looking to tap into their equity, but there are also drawbacks with that loan as well. With a home equity loan, you only borrow a lump sum of money and it's at a fixed interest rate. Now, the good thing about home equity loans is that your monthly payments are predictable, unlike a HELOC. The bad thing is that if you fall behind on that loan payment, you could risk losing your home in foreclosure. Of course, there is another option for utilizing home equity, and that is to sell one's home and downsize to a less expensive home and then pocket the proceeds. But that requires one to uproot themselves, which may not be ideal. However, if maintaining and covering the cost of your home is causing you to struggle financially, especially while trying to meet healthcare expenses, moving to a smaller space may not be such a bad idea. If you can buy a smaller home outright after selling your property, you won't have to worry about owing money, and of course, with a HECM for purchase, you wouldn't have to worry about a mandatory payment. In 2025, Social Security benefits will be increasing by 2.5%. That's actually the smallest COLA to arrive in recent years. However, the news is not all bad. Because inflation is easing, seniors may find that what they're losing in the form of a smaller Social Security cost of living adjustment, they will actually be gaining in the form of less expensive groceries, gas, utilities, and more. But there is one notable exception, and it's for seniors who live in California. Recently, the California Air Resources Board approved another additional gas tax that is projected to cost residents an additional 47 to 65 cents a gallon. Yet today, the average Social Security recipient collects an average benefit of $1,920 a month. However, Social Security benefits are not the only thing that will be increasing in 2025. So will Medicare Part B premiums. Part B enrollees will be paying about $10 more a month, or 6% more. That'll be $185 for their premium, up from $174 last year. Meanwhile, the annual deductible for all Medicare Part B beneficiaries will be increasing to $257 in 2025. That's up from $240. The reason for the 2025 premium and deductible increases, they say, is due to projected price changes and assumed utilization increases that are consistent with historical experience. Now, Medicare's Part B premiums have generally been outpacing the annual rate of inflation, as well as Social Security's annual cost of living adjustments. So in the final analysis, if we look at the math of it, it means that while the COLA adjustment will be boosting the average Social Security monthly benefit from the average of $1,920 to $1,968 a month, the Medicare premium adjustment whittles down the effective cost of living adjustment benefit increase from 2.5% to 1.97%. Something to consider. That concludes this week's episode of HECMworld Weekly. We do have an audio companion podcast, which you can find on Apple Music, Spotify, and at podbean.com. Thanks again for joining us, and be sure to return next week for more reverse mortgage news for you, the mortgage professional.